Yo, what's up? Dang it, it's Tuesday. And there's maintenance. I ought to be expecting this, honestly. I really ought to. Alright, it's maintenance in 45 minutes. Let's get right to it, okay? Freaking Tuesdays. Let's get right into it. I have some YouTube videos I gotta work on today. That's okay. I don't have any backup activities stowed for today, but maybe we can cook something up. I want to get like one more good game in with this Torterra deck. That's like on my agenda. I want one more. But what other decks are we excited to see from the new set? Because I think I'm going to be done with Torterra pretty much in the next hour. That's the idea. Hopefully in the next 5 minutes I'm done with Torterra, because I've been playing Torterra for like 3 days straight. This deck is super fun though, so I'm never mad when I'm playing Torterra. GLC deck building stream? Dang, my opponent started 4 Pokemon? That's crazy. Looks like I'm up against a Palkia V-Star deck. I don't have the strongest opening hand, but it is an opening hand. I can Ultra Ball away Super Rod and Area 0 Underdepths, and I can go get a Turtle. And then next turn, I can Arvin for an Ultra Ball and a Tool to get rid of it. I mean, it's kind of ugly, the start. Not going to lie. Would love to have more basic Pokemon in the opening hand, but that's just not the way it's going. Thank you, King Jester, for that sub and the 31 months. Appreciate it. Some people want some Toad-Scroll EX. Some people want some Cinderace EX. Incroyable started building GLC decks yesterday. Yo, that's awesome. I wish we could play Gym Leader Challenge online. That'd be fun. Toxtricity with the Rainbow Road bench attack. Hey, yo. We can look at some deck lists for a little while. Yeah, we'll do that. I want to start thinking about the Ceruledge. I've been getting a hard time for how I'm pronouncing Ceruledge. We can think about Ceruledge, Ceruledge, Celery Edge. All right, let's go. We need Ultra Ball, and we need a tool to get rid of. Great. And then I'm going to go Rare Candy, Torterra, and I'm going to put the Area 0 Underdepths into play, and I'm going to Ultra Ball away these, and we're going to get our Beautifly. I also want to start thinking about Archaludon. The broken, messed up Archaludon deck. You know, I've got, okay, not a lot, but that's okay. Do this, retreat. All right. I think we just lose this. All right. Listen, I'm speed running, okay? I need a pop-off game. I need one pop-off game before maintenance happens. Thank you, Different Flight, for that raid of 166. Yo, appreciate the raid. Welcome, everybody, from different flights. Going to be playing a little bit of Pokemon TCG Live today until maintenance goes up. And then I am going to start talking about decks. Talk about deck building, things like that. Yo, appreciate it, different flights. Thank you. Hopefully you're having a good one. Toxicity. I gotta look up what this toxicity does. Okay, so here we go. Loud Mix. 50 damage plus 30 more damage for each different type of Pokemon on your bench. All right, now this is an opening hand I can work with. Let's go. Thank you, Jamuel Scones. Or Jamuel's Cones. For the 3 months at Tier 1. Appreciate you. Thank you so much for the support. Jamuel, appreciate you. 35 minutes to get in some Mousehold EX gameplay. Whew. Looks like I'm up against Dragapult EX. And I've got a good opening hand. We've got a Turtwig, 2 Nest Ball, and a Bug Catching set. It's about as good as it gets. I am desperately hoping that my opponent doesn't go turn 2 Dragapult. That, you know, if your opponent gets turn 2 Dragapult going first against your setup deck, you're probably having a bad time. That's just how things go. All right, we've got an Ogerpon and a Grass Energy there. And I've got a backup Turtwig. We've got a Nest Ball. Let's go here. Nest Ball. Go get Lilligant. Nest Ball again. And we'll go get... Oof. If they get the turn 2 knockout, this Wurmple is dead. But I mean, like... That's just kind of what's going to happen, right? Like, if they get it, they get it. We can't just be scared, you know? We got another Bug Catching sets. We've got a Beautifly. We've got another Turtwig. We've got a Grotle and a Torterra. I think if I take the Turtwig and the Grotle, that's good, because it can allow me to have a very explosive go this next turn. If I can actually draw some things. All right, we'll pass. Let's see what my opponent's got going on. We're chilling. My voice is so soothing that I'm falling asleep. Yeah, that's the goal. I've been told that that my videos are nice to go to sleep to. That's what I've been told. See, we've got a nice low-key vibe here on Tricky Jim. This is kind of the... Sometimes we pop off. Of course, there's always pop-offs. But day in, day out, we keep things nice and chill here. And a lot of people watch the stream while they're at work. So I think that's kind of the vibe that we got. You know, people watch while they're at work, so they get their work done at the office. The stream isn't too distracting. We don't put any background music on, so that way, you know, if you don't want any background music, you don't have to have any background music. But if you want background music, you can always just pull up Spotify yourself. Looks like we're getting Iono'd, and oh, thank goodness. This hand is insane. All right, we're going in, folks. My opponent is cooked. They are absolutely cooked. Yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You gave me the perfect Iono hand. And now I am going to pop off. They've got Rotom V and Luminion. You better get another Dreepy down. You better. If you don't get another Dreepy down, you're going to be in for a bad time. Dracloak. Recon Directive, you better have... Okay, good. I was going to say, this game is so over if you don't put another Dreepy down. But they'll probably get another Paradreepy here. Yep. And instant charge for 3. Now, I've got Rare Candy. I've got Iono. I've got Ultra Ball. So I can Ultra Ball for Grotle. Grotle for Torterra. Rare Candy Torterra. And get this knockout on this Dracloak. We got Arven 2. Arven could be the move. Yeah, and I'm thinking that maybe it is. I don't want to Ultra Ball away any of these cards. Funny enough. Arven could get us more, because we could... Let's start with Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball away these. Oh, and all I need to do is get the... I forgot about the broken Hisuian Lilligant V-Star. Holy smokes, this thing is broken. Yeah, this is making the whole play happen right here. Okay. Star Perfume. Watch this, folks. Look at how broken this is. 2 Grotle, a Torterra, a Beautifly, and a Grass. Wow. Just bananas, you know? And we got double Grotle on the bench. Then we go Area 0 Underdepths. Blammo, look at that. Rare Candy into Beautifly. Attach here. Sundrenched Shell. This is crazy. Sundrenched Shell for Radiant Serena. This is crazy. Yeah, look, now we got Radiant Serena down. Sundrenched Shell. And we can just go get whoever else, you know, like another Teal Mask Ogerpon. And I'll put it down. Stoke Straw. Cool. And we'll Arven. Go get Rare Candy and Maximum Belt. And then Rare Candy into Torterra. And I've got the Maximum Belt here, so if they evolve into a Dragapult EX this next turn, I can attach Maximum Belt so that I can do 320 damage. Take the one-hit KO on Dragapult. And I've got no Pokemon on my bench that can get picked off by Dragapult EX's Phantom Dive attack. So, you know, 60 damage to the bench isn't going to do anything. Especially with Radiant Serena out. It's got Elegant Heal, so I can heal 20 damage from all of my Pokemon. And did my opponent disconnect? Are they so mad that they've lost to the Torterra deck already? No, they're here. Thank goodness. Okay. Listen, I know you're losing, but you're going to need to keep playing for the content. Just think of the content, Dragapult EX player. Think of the content. The content demands you continue playing. All right, we've got ourselves Rare Candy Pidgeot EX. They can use Quick Search and go search out whatever card they want from their deck. But the thing is, they know that I've got this Maximum Belt in my hand. They just saw me get it. So they know that's there. And if they don't counter my Stadium, all I need to do is attach the Max Belt, put down one more Pokemon, and their Dragapult EX is roasted, which is crazy. That is crazy. It's a it's such an awesome play being able to go Star Perfume into Sundrenched Shell. I mean, you can see how easy it is to fill your entire board. And the grass pool of cards really does have everything. We've got Beautifly with a Stoke Straw, can fill our hand to 6. Sundrenched Shell can go search out your Pokemon. Teal Dance can draw. Elegant Heal heals. And Torterra has 340 hit points and does 270 damage for 1 energy, right? It's just like a really cool deck to get everything going. Without Area 0 Underdepths, Torterra's damage output was just a little bit too low, maxing out at 150, 180. But now with Area 0 Underdepths, you can do 270, and 270 is just so much better than 180. 270 can knock out almost every can knock out every single basic Pokemon V, and can knock out some other stage 1 Pokemon EXs, every basic Pokemon EX, and then with damage mods like Maximum Belt and Defiance Band, we can take big one-hit knockouts on bigger threats like Dragapult and Pidgeot. Maximum Belt allows us to hit both of those knockouts, which are really big. And it looks like they're going to use the new Ace Spec, the Sparkling Crystal, to attack with Dragapult using just 1 energy. And we have got everything we need to destroy this Dragapult. So they've got just a 1-card hand, which is pretty cool. I don't mind that at all. Elegant Heal, going to heal us up a little bit. Sundrenched Shell. I can risk it by putting down the Wurmple. Say if they attack again, they can knock out my Wurmple, which is kind of annoying. I think that's okay. We'll go get another Torterra. And I'll put the Wurmple down. And then I like everything else in my hand. So we'll just attach the Maximum Belt. And it really is just that easy. I kind of want to save the Arven. I don't want to play this Iono because they have a really small hand. Evolve this into Torterra. And I'll Stoke Straw for 1. Find an Ultra Ball. That's cool. We can just hold that. And then Forest March for 320 damage. Let's go. Blammo. I'll take my 2 prizes. And we got another Grass Energy. Great. They've got Pidgeot EX coming up. They need to accelerate a Fire Energy onto Dracloak or use Crispin in order to attack. So the only way they're going to be able to attack with Dragapult is if they use Crispin or Mela this turn. Mela could accelerate the Fire Energy. They'd have to find the Psychic Energy too. And then they can make it happen. But outside of that, they're not going to be attacking with the Dragapult this turn. And judging by this Arven, I'm saying they are not going to be attacking with Dragapult this turn. And that's just the power of Torterra being able to attack with just a single Grass Energy. It is really nice not having to use any extra energy to attack. I mean, we're just 1 Grass Energy. We're swinging for huge numbers. That's the Torterra way. All right. I feel like we've got... Is it really worth running Teal Mask Ogerpon? Oh, heck yeah. We use Teal Mask Ogerpon to draw. Like, you can also use Star Perfume to go get all your grass in your deck and just lay them down to get like an extra, 3 draw. And then you can retreat them off, rod them back in. Teal Mask Ogerpon is also just the best grass Terra Pokemon, and you have to have a Terra Pokemon in play in order to use Area 0, right? So like you have to have a grass Terra Pokemon, and Teal Mask Ogerpon is just the best one. But it's not worth playing more than 6 Grass Energy because your attacker only takes 1, right? So 6 is like a fine number. It allows you to find them with Bug Catching Set, and you can also find them with Star Perfume. And then like getting that incremental draw or two like throughout the game is a really big deal. It like really, really is. All right, the Galvantula deck kind of stinks. Pretty sure Galvantula is kind of not great. Thank you, Munchkin, for that sub in the 62 months. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thanks for the continued supports. Do I run 4 Sealstone? No, use Star Perfume. Yeah, use Star Perfume like every game. And what's crazy about Star Perfume is that you can use Grottle to go search out Star Perfume, and then use Star Perfume to search out every Pokemon in your deck, which is just nuts. All right. I think I've got plenty of Torterra gameplay at this point. So that feels good. And the list for the Torterra deck is in the Tricky Gym Discord if you're curious about it. Definitely make sure to check out the Tricky Gym Discord if you have not already. This is the home of the Tricky Gym community. We've got over 17,000 members there. I post all my deck lists there. We've got tons of great information for Pokemon TCG players. You know, registration links get posted there, Pokemon news, all that. Could this deck ever top cut a regional? I don't know if I go that far, Brandon. But it is cool, isn't it? What did you just do to me? You took a Pixie Pie at my hand? It's messed up. Looks like I'm playing against some sort of Crobat deck. And I've got a decent enough opening hand with Earthen Vessel, Ultra Ball, and an Iono. I've also got Glass Trumpet, so that's cool. I could get a turn 1 Glass Trumpet, but I would have to get a Terra Pokemon into play, so we're probably not doing that. I'm just going to use Iono, Ultra Ball away some energy, and do that. Not sure what my opponent's cooking up here, though. Looks like I'm playing against some sort of Crobat deck. Very cool. I'll start off with Earthen Vessel, see what I've got going on in the deck. I've got, yes, all right. Everything looking good. We'll grab these and Ultra Ball away those. Get myself a Joltik. And Iono. We're hoping to find some stuff here. And I've got Chansey, I've got Bidoof, but I've got nothing else. All Night Stretcher for a single lightning energy. Attach it to Joltik. Pass. But I'm going to need a little something else going on off the top of the deck in order to get moving here. Because this is not going to do it for us. No, it is not. Artisan. You know, I've only got 30 minutes. I'm not feeling inspired about this game, folks. Nah, give it up. On to the next. Maintenance is coming. We need nothing but premium games here. In the 30 minutes before maintenance. Darkrai V Terapagos. That did seem kind of cool. I saw like Turbo Dark decks with Terapagos. You use the Glass Trumpet to accelerate Darkness energy into play. My question is, what does Turbo Dark do better than like Roaring Moon, right? What are like Terapagos, Darkrai? What does that do better than like Roaring Moon EX? Would be my biggest question. Okay, looks like I'm playing against a Roaring Moon EX deck. Can we beat this deck? I'm not sure. We'll start with another vessel. I'm going to go get a couple energy and go get a Radiant Greninja with the Ultra Ball. So let's do this. Let's do that. Ultra Ball. Probably don't need the bosses in this game. We're going to go get... Gosh, I guess I need to get Radiant Greninja, yeah. Okay. Which just means I'm not going to be able to accelerate energy until I get a Terra Pokemon into play. Which will be the Cornerstone Mask Ogerpon. But that's okay. Pass. It unfair stamps twice. I think Hand Disruption is kind of dead. Anybody else feeling that? I think Hand Disruption is super fake these days. Like, even the regional winning Guardy deck didn't play Unfair Stamp anymore. Unfair Stamp is over. Yo, it looks like I'm playing against not the single prize Roaring Moon EX, but I'm playing against Turbo Roaring Moon EX. This should actually be a pretty good matchup for us. If I can just kind of set up and get moving, this should be good. They put Pokestop into play for us too, which is nice. I think my biggest beef with the Reggie's deck is that at times it can feel inconsistent, but undoubtedly, if you get the Reggie engine going, it is just a very strong energy acceleration ability. And being able to accelerate to any Pokemon you want is real crazy. That's awesome. Thank you, Simsy R5, for the Prime sub in the 2 months. Appreciate you, Simsy. Thank you. They got Squonkin Seas, Dark Patch, and with the Subjugating Chains ability, they can move that Roaring Moon into the active spot. So unfortunately, I am not going to be getting that Pokestop, assuming that they discard it. Please do not do this. Who are you taking? No, not him, bro. Not him. Not him. This is cringe. I had him down there for a reason, my guy. I put him on my bench specifically so that I could draw cards. All right. You see how fragile the Reggie the Reggie deck can be. Okay, we got double stretcher. That's fine. Night stretcher. First of all, we need an energy. And this is terrible because I'm using all my night stretchers without, like, using them effectively. And we got Nest Ball and Ultra Ball. Yeah, it's not good. We'll go here. We'll go here. We'll Nest Ball for... There's no way they do it again, right? Ain't no way. And we'll Regigate. No shot they do it again, dude. Absolutely no shot. Yeah, and that's kind of the deal with this deck. And I have lots of supporters in here, but not being able to play your own Pokestops in the Reggie deck is like devastating. Because Pokestop is one of the cards that just keeps this deck churning. And it keeps you finding those crucial item cards you need, gets your energy into the discard pile, kind of does everything, right? And playing extra Pokemon that aren't Reggies and putting them on the bench just forces you to find your stadium before you're allowed to attack, which is also kind of problematic. But, you know, all I have to do is take 3 knockouts. But they can knock out my... if I put Cornerstone Mass down, they can just knock that thing out easy, so... It's kind of a problem, huh? What do I got going on in here? Reggie Lucky. 2 stadiums prized. Wonderful. Concealed cards. Yeah, this deck's a pile. With 2 stadiums prized, I don't even think it's possible. No, it's not. Get us out of here. Reggies are bad. Thank you, Henry, for the Prime 7 to 8 months. Reggies ain't it, folks. It's not. As much as I would love it to be. It is not. Torterra, though. Palafin, Chenpao. Raging Bolts. What other cards we get from the new sets? We got... Bouffalance. We got Galvantula. Cinderace. Hydrapple. Fanrotom. Oh yeah, let's do the sure. Let's do the crazy Turbo Dark deck. No Turbo Dark? All right, fine. I have 10 minutes to build it. You know what? Not worth it. We got to do Turbo Dark after the maintenance. We only got 10 minutes until maintenance. Turtle checkmate. Yeah, Turbo Dark, you can do like, I guess it's not Turbo Dark, it's Turtle Dark. Yeah, you can do Darkrai V-Star, and you ramp up Darkness Energy in play. Yeah, I'll be playing Pokemon Pocket when it comes out, yeah. Little over a month. We've got a channel in the Tricky Gym Discord as well, dedicated to Pokemon TCG Pocket. We'll be covering it depending on how the reception is, you know. If reception's really good, we'll cover it more. If reception is kind of mid, then we'll cover it less. But, you know, the reception can't be any worse than the reception of TCG Live, right? I did watch This Old Ledge Wallenberg on Thrasher. I did watch that. That was cool. Dang it, Fluttermane. Dang it. Why would you do this to me? All right, let's see what we can do. Fluttermane. Not cool, man. Super not cool. But I've got an answer for this. Let's go get the Squawkabilly. And I've got the Jet Energy in hand. So I can just go Jet the Squawkabilly into the active. And now I can Fan Call. Say we'll put this guy down, put this guy down. I should have Jet Energy my Terapagos into the active, but it's all good because now I can't Squawk. But I'll retreat. It's cool. It's cool. All right. Don't you worry about it. Yeah. Should have just Jet the Terapagos, but this is fine. Then I will, let's see, Fan Call. And we're going to Fan Call for a Hoot Hoot, a Noctowl, and a Pidgey. Sure. Put our Hoot Hoot down and pass. And then next turn, I've kind of got it going on. Let's go. See what kind of deck my opponent's playing. I'm assuming it's Gardevoir. We should have a good Gardevoir matchup. Nope. Well, okay, it might be Gardevoir still. It's probably Gardevoir. 2 Darkness Energy, now you're looking sus. All right, now it's definitely not Gardevoir. So what am I up against? Lots of Darkness Energy. Is this like a... This is a Roaring Moon deck. All right, Turbo Roaring Moon deck. They just happened to open the one of Fluttermane. Oh, no, this is not Turbo Roaring Moon. This is Ancient Box. Got it. Yes, it's Ancient Box. Cool, cool. Just Ancient Box. Now, I still think this will be a good matchup for us. Should be good. Being able to take multiple knockouts at once and kind of force the prize trade in my favor, I think is going to be great for us. I don't need to have the world's biggest bench either. And if my opponent counters my Area 0 underdepths, then I can bump my own liabilities. All right, they played Explorer's Guidance. They probably kept good cards like Sada. Let's go Jewel Seeker. Love that. Noctowl bouncing all over the place. Okay, we're going to go Rare Candy Featherball. Featherball for Pidgeot. Rare Candy Pidgeot. Double Turbo Energy and Iono. And let's see what we got. Ooh, wow. Wowee. Yeah, that is pretty good, huh? Okay, let's do... Quick search. Dust Noir. Rare Candy into Dust Noir. How much am I doing right now? 130, that's fine. Cursed Blast. And I think it's gotta be just the Greninja. And then we knock out the active too. Hopefully I get Hoot Hoot here. No, just Jet Energy, it's fine. And then we'll bench another Duskull. And I'm hitting it. Come on. Let's go, baby. All right. Put the Area 0 Underdepths into play. And a Night Stretcher. Another Duskull out. And that way, if they counter my Stadium, I can bump my Squawk. And we'll Unify Beatdown. 160. Nutso. And there's a Hooter. Great. And you can see how much control of the game you can take with the Turtle Checkmate deck. With the Dusknoir and our robust search engine, we can easily just kind of pinpoint and knock out whatever cards we want on our opponent's side of the board. And we can also force them to take prizes when we want them to, which we can then use to our advantage to make it so that we can Iono them to a low hand size, which isn't good versus a lot of decks, but against a deck like Ancient Box, being able to like counter Catcher Fez, Iono can be a really big deal, especially before Ancient Box gets to the bottom of the deck. If we can limit their options before they have drawn enough cards, it's really good for us. They did end up finding a Sawdust Vitality. They got Pheasantipity in play. That's an easy 2 prizes for me. If my opponent gets to 2 prizes remaining, I can always use Briar to take an extra prize, which is nice. I got 3 Roaring Moon in play now. I think I just gust up the Fez and knock it out, go to 2 prizes left, and then all I have to do is if they take 2 prizes next turn, then I blow up a single Dusknoir, Briar, game, right? Like, that's so crazy that we can just do that, but that's kind of the route that we're setting up. If they take 2 prizes this turn, then I can win this turn. That's nuts. Like, if they go counter Catcher Squawk, knock it out. I'm not playing Defiance Band right now, but I could. I could play Defiance Band. I was thinking about Vitality Band. Vitality Band could also help fix some math. But yeah, being able to hit over 220 would be pretty good. So maybe we want to do that. My opponent's really taking their time with this decision here. Bringing up Fan Rotom. All right. So now, maybe TCG Live gave them a bug or something. How much damage are you doing with Vengeance Fletching? 160? I think they probably meant to get Squawkabilly, and they couldn't click the card they wanted to click. So that's so epic. Yeah, TCG Live is down. Love it. Yup, down for the count. go Ultra Ball. I'm going to try and win this turn. Is my Pheasantipity in the deck? Oh, yeah, it is. Okay. Let's flip the script. I think we've got it. No, because I need a rescue carrier. And like a few more bench Pokemon. Because I only have one Dusknoir in the deck. Ultra Ball. Because I can get this. I can't quite do it all. So I go Rare Candy here. And then I can quick search. Rescue Carrier. I have to go Curse Blast. There. And do it again. And then Night Stretcher. Do it again. We're giving up a lot of prizes this game. This is a situation where if I didn't prize 2 Hoot Hoots, I would have been able to do it, I think. Because I would have been able to Jewel Seeker for the game-winning cards here. But as it stands, I won't be able to Briar. This is where if I had everything, we just go Briar game, right? But we don't have everything. Okay, Iono them to 2. Am I missing this knockout? Oh, yeah, I am. That's fine. I could just use Briar next turn. So I think we just retreat into a single prizer. Or retreat into like my Pidgeot. And then I use Briar for the win next turn. But I don't have the energy that I need. So they did 160 last turn. That's fine. I'll just do this. They did 160 last turn, so I don't think off an Iono to 2 they're going to get up to 230. Maybe that's my undoing, but and that's it. Game over. Cool. Blammo. Briar game. Hawk Talon, I'm not going to fake it, you know? The community knows how bad of a client this is. Like, the Pokemon TCG community has been through a lot with the online client situation in the last, like, since 2011. Like, I'm not going to fake it. I am me. I am who I am. I am going to give you my honest opinion of the client. And the client's a mess. Okay. We all know it. We all see it. I'm not going to like, it's the client's a mess. Client's a mess. It is what it is. Like, why would you blame me for drawing people away from the Pokemon TCG when I would argue that it's the Pokemon company that created this client is pushing people away from the Pokemon TCG? Why would you blame me? It's not my job to sell this. You know what I mean? Like, why would you blame me? It's not my fault that this thing stinks. Why would you blame me? It's messed up. If anything, my authenticity is what draws people to want to watch the channel, because you're not getting any BS, you know? My authenticity, my keeping it real, that's what makes people want to watch. Not this, poor excuse for a client. Also, I would argue that over my career, I have absolutely had a net positive on people, like, getting into the Pokemon TCG. So it's kind of like, anyways. I've done nothing but help people get into the game. And now, like, you're saying, oh, well, you're drawing people away. Like, what are you talking about? If the game didn't reek so bad, maybe we wouldn't complain about it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a mess. The game's a mess. It's the worst digital TCG client that there is. There is no worse digital TCG client than TCG Live. It is the worst one there is. It is the worst one there is by a lot. Anyways, looks like I'm playing against Lugia. That's cool. And this could be sus. They were able to get 2 chops in the discard pile very quickly. So that can be troublesome for us. This matchup doesn't seem great the more I think about it. I think I kind of have to go for the turn 1 Jet Energy, and we're just going to hope we find it. We did not find Jet Energy, unfortunately. But I did find Prime Catcher, which I could use. Loved that. Little green explosion. That was nice. Okay. Fan Call. Get these. Prime Catcher. And this is where I would like to, if I had found Jet Energy, I would have had to find Jet Energy in a stadium, so maybe it wasn't correct to go for the Jet Energy. And that's the thing, Hawk Talon, is that I'm not criticizing the TCG Live economy. I've never criticized that. In fact, they could have just, like, made all the cards on TCGO free. They could have done that. There's a million things they could have done. They could have just made all the cards free on TCGO. They could have made the economy better on TCGO. They could have made TCGO have crafting, right? Yeah, they could have done all that. No one is saying that the card should go back to being hard to get or the game should go back to being expensive to play. Nobody's saying that. It's just the construction, the nuts and bolts of this thing is trash. Like it's a mess. This week alone, I've concealed cards for 1 card instead of 2. I've flipped the script for 2 cards instead of 3. I have hold on, I'm trying to think. I flipped the script for 2 cards instead of 3. It's got to be Area 0 Under Depths. I have used TM Devo to take a knockout and not been awarded the prize card for it. Like, yeah. And it's not like this game just came out. The patience has run out. I don't think I have a way to get this thing into the actor spot. Yeah, I've encountered so many game-breaking bugs just this week alone, and it's not like the game's new. This game is years old. This game's been in development since like this game's been in development since like 2018. You know what I mean? Like, isn't that crazy? All right, let's go. Quick search. I don't have a switch card, so it's going to have to be... I think I'm tripping here. I shouldn't have quick search already. I'm kind of like, my mind's in a million different spots right now. First time chatter says, I went to flip the script today. Instead of drawing from my deck, I drew 3 bench Pokemon. No, Hawk Talon, I think that's where you're wrong. It is as bad as people say. The game is as bad as people say it is. Yeah. I think you're absolutely wrong there. TCG Live is as bad as people say it is. Consider this. There's not a single TCG Live gameplay video on YouTube with over 100,000 views. There's not a single TCG Live gameplay video on YouTube with over 70,000 views. Consider this. TCG Live as a category on Twitch has overall less viewership than PTCGO did. That's a brand new game. With a new game should come hype, should come excitement, should come, like, you know, enthusiasm. And the game's more popular than it's ever been. You know what I mean? The game has been a disaster for TCG content creators like myself. It's been a disaster. I've undergone so much like kind of emotional stress because of this transition from TCGO to TCG Live. It has created so much anxiety in my life because this thing does not work. And because of how garbage it is. I've had a terrible time the last 2 years. The last 2 years have been miserable. And I'm just doing my best to put on a smile and be as good of a sport as I can about it. But there's no escaping it. The Pokemon TCG Live is the worst digital client for any trading card game that there is. All right. Yeah, Lugia seems like a pretty terrible matchup for us. Not going to lie, but you know, that's okay. Yeah, it's not working here, unfortunately. I don't know that we can actually beat Lugia with that deck. Hawk Talon, I disagree with your take that bashing TCG Live is the cool thing to do, and I think it's the natural response to you've got the most lucrative, profitable franchises in the world that's created the worst digital client in the world. You know, don't just say it's the vogue thing to do. Don't just say it's the natural consequence of what you've done, right? Like it's when a company makes as big of a misstep as this, it's not the cool thing to bash on the client, it's the natural thing to do. And it's not just Hawk Talent. People have come into the chat and echoed those same sentiments, but I just disagree with them wholeheartedly, like full-throatedly. I get it. People are into it because they can actually play the game and they can test the cards. However, the game has done significant damage to the Pokemon franchise, right? Exactly. See? Hawk Talon, you get it. It was mismanaged from the beginning. It'll never be good. I know. You know that. I know that. We all know that. Then why would we ever defend it? We have to let them know, right? We have to let them know. Yeah, we have to let them know. You can't just let them get away with it. All right, and that's it for TCG Live now. As you can see, it's over when it's over. Okay, but I think that TCG Pocket's going to be sick, dude. I'm telling you. Nah. The deck builder is usable but needs a lot of work. No, the deck builder's terrible. You can't even look at your whole deck at once. Like, what? You can't look at your whole deck on the screen at the same time. Are you serious? Like, no, you can. The deck builder is indefensible. You can't look at your whole deck at once. At the very best, you have to scroll. The UI is abysmal. On mobile, you can't use landscape mode. You are forced into vertical mode. To play a trading card game, you are forced into vertical mode to play a trading card game. You can't see your whole hand at the same time, and you have to scroll back and forth. The cards jump all over the screen anytime they try to do anything, and it looks incredibly unnatural. The resolutions on the cards are bad. The animations are distracting and disorienting. I mean, it's nuts. It's nuts everything. There's not a single good thing about it. I'm not talking about the economy. Of course, being able to get the cards for almost free is fine. That's good. But it's it's a mess. The thing's a mess. From the ground up, it's a mess. It is. But whatever. Anyways, let's take a look at some decks. Listen, Crook, I know you've been begging me to go look at your 36th place list from the online tournament all stream. I've seen you. I hear you. I know. But you've been spamming it that I need to go look at your 36th place list the whole stream. All right, now we're going to let chat decide. And the more you spam something, the less I want to do it. Let's see what we got here. Do we look at the 36th place online tournament list? Yes or no? Thank you, Coyote Vest, for the Prime sub and the 22 months. Appreciate you. Thank you. Well, let's see what Japan is cooking up. New sets from the new lists from the newest set. Archaludon, this is a deck I'm pretty excited to get looking at. Let's see what they've done with it. Archaludon with holy moly, this is... They were cooking, dude. Why do we have Celery Edge and Archaludon in the same deck? Hawk Talon. lack of money. Now, you could say they mismanaged the amount of resources they allocated for it, but you can't say they had a lack of money. You could say that the Pokemon Company International mismanaged the amount of resources they allocated for the client. Snoopy says, I would blame the Pokemon Company for allocating money, not TPCI. All right, so that's actually an interesting point of discussion. The reason I'm getting one guide today is because the client is down. All I have is my discussion points. That's all we have today. The client's down. It's worth getting sidetracked. Thank you, Rock and Roll Soldier, for that Prime sub in the 2 minutes. Appreciate it. Thank you, Coyote Vest. That one guy is carrying the stream content. I know. I'm saying. Discussions are good, and without discussions, people can't learn or change. I'm saying that. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's awesome, Wheat. I know. I'm thankful you hosted that. It's awesome. So, who's at fault for the TCG Live? Snoopy said that the Pokemon Company Japan is at fault. And it's like, instead of the Pokemon Company International. And when you think about it, it's like, I guess ultimately everything comes down to the, like, who is ultimately responsible, right? The Pokemon Company Japan ultimately is responsible for how their brand gets represented, right? Because nothing gets greenlit unless it's through them, I'm pretty sure. The Pokemon Company International, which is based in Bellevue, Washington, developed the Pokemon trading card game Live. TPCI is a subsidiary of the Pokemon Company Japan, right? They're a subsidiary. They license rights to the Pokemon Company from the Pokemon Company, right? In my mind, it's still like the Pokemon Company International makes a ton of money, and they had a functional client in the Pokemon trading card game online. They had a company, Direwolf, which had been developing the Pokemon trading card game online for a decade, right? So, like, in my mind, it's still the Pokemon Company International is directly responsible for the Pokemon trading card game Live. They're the ones who shut down their relationship with Direwolf, shut down the 10 years of work that had gone into the Pokemon trading card game online, decided to try to reinvent the wheel themselves, and ultimately failed, right? Like, that's all on them. Now, if you want to get into whether or not we think that the Pokemon Company should be developing their own digital client, I mean, now it's like, I almost think that it's really crazy to start thinking about, like, the the implications of Pokemon TCG Pocket. And it's the reason I released the TCG Pocket YouTube video, right? Yeah, it's the reason I released this video, because I really talk about pretty much everything that I've been thinking about, all of it here, right? It's like I kind of talk about the community's frustrations with TCG Live. I talk about, hopes and aspirations for Pocket, all that. And I mean, I kind of get it, because I don't, it's funny. I have my career is like, promoting and creating Pokemon TCG content, and much of that content gets created using the digital client, because it's the easiest and cheapest way to create Pokemon TCG content, right? Obviously, if you look at my channel, I prefer and really enjoy creating higher effort tabletop content, right? Like, this is the stuff that I'm really driven to do. This is the stuff I'm passionate about. This stuff is not easy to make, okay? It's just not. This stuff's not easy to make. It's expensive. It's high effort, but it's the stuff I love to do. So I do it, even though it costs a lot of money and effort and time to make these videos. I feel like they're ultimately worth it. That's it. And the feeling of worth it comes purely intrinsically, because, financially, the videos never make as much money as they need to make to pay for themselves. I just like making them. And then, when I can create TCG Live gameplay videos, those help pay for everything else that I do, because they're cheap and easy to do, and people watch them. But I kind of understand. I mean, if you think about the Pokemon Company Japan, like, they didn't set out to create a digital TCG client, like, ever. They didn't. The Pokemon Company Japan, they never made that a priority, right? Remind me later. They never made that a priority, and I kind of get it, the Pokemon Company Japan says, like, okay, we don't really want people to be playing a digital version of our game. We want our players to be meeting up in person. In Japan, you got to figure, Japanese gaming culture is different than it is in the rest of the world, right? And for Japan, they didn't really care if players had a way to play the Pokemon TCG digitally. They didn't really care. In fact, the Pokemon Company Japan has never mentioned TCG Live. The Pokemon Company Japan has never mentioned the Pokemon trading card game online. The Pokemon Company Japan doesn't really acknowledge those digital ways to play their trading card game. From all appearances, it seems as if the Pokemon Company Japan doesn't want a way for their player base in Japan to be able to play the Pokemon TCG digitally. And I respect that. I respect that, because I think that at the heart of it, the Pokemon Company Japan wants the Pokemon TCG to be a tabletop gaming experience that players get together and play in person. And if you look at Japan, there's a very robust tabletop gaming scene for the Pokemon trading card game in Japan. Now, obviously, in Japan, you have denser cities. People live closer together. You have robust public transportation, and people are able to meet up at card shops and play together. So, it's reasonable to say that in Japan, they don't need a digital TCG client, and they want to focus their efforts on the tabletop gaming experience. I respect that. I respect that, because to me, the Pokemon trading card game is not a video game. The Pokemon trading card game is a tabletop game. That's what I love about it. I don't love the Pokemon trading card game because it's got like the most mind-blowing mechanics and gameplay. It doesn't have the most flawless gameplay out of any game. It's not the most mind-blowing, like deep strategic game on the market. That's not why I love the Pokemon trading card game. I love the Pokemon trading card game because of these things. The cards, right? That's why I love Pokemon cards. Because of the cards. So I get it. I think I'm very much an idealist when it comes to these kinds of things. In my mind, I'm like, if you want to play a video game, just go play the VGC. Like, I get it. The trading card game doesn't need to be a video game. The trading card game is a trading card game. It's made to be played on the tabletop with friends, with somebody across the table from you. That's what the heart and soul of the Pokemon TCG is. So I almost, and this is hilarious coming from me, I almost don't care. I don't care, right? Like, I'd rather there be no client than a bad client. And I know that's going to create some boos in the chat, but like, whatever. I'd rather there be no client than a bad client, because at least no client doesn't actively damage your brand. To me, the Pokemon trading card game online was never like supposed to replace the Pokemon trading card game in paper. It just was like an adequate way to test for paper cards. Like, the Pokemon trading card game online was an adequate way to test for tournaments and to share the game with people, on the internet. That's kind of just what it was. It was never like an incredible game or anything. It just was adequate. And then, and the community kind of rallied behind that and got, it was expensive. The economy was messed up, but like, the community kind of accepted it as its thing, right? And, it was our goofy client. It was our goofy, outdated mess. And it made sense you think about the Pokemon trading card game online started being developed in like 2011. I guess started being developed in like 2010, right? And if you think about where the Pokemon Company Japan would have been thinking, where they were in 2010, they're probably like, no, we don't need to digitize our game. If you want to, and you can almost imagine a conversation between the Pokemon Company Japan and the Pokemon Company International where they say, we have no need for a digital game here in Japan, but Pokemon Company International, if for accessibility reasons you want to create a digital version of the game, we'll allow you to do it. However, we're going to have very strict do's and don'ts that you have to abide by. And that's it, right? So, like, you can imagine that when they started out, the Pokemon Company International, first of all, had no idea what they're doing because they've never developed a video game before. So they started trying to develop their own web browser-based game, and they failed at doing that. So then they hired Direwolf to come in and fix it. I know this because one of my cousin's best friends worked for Direwolf during this time. Shout out to Tim. Hopefully you're doing well. And he said as much. He's like, yeah, dude, they hired Direwolf to like come in and fix this disaster that they were developing, right? Which they were developing a web-based browser game to be the trading card game client. And then they hired Direwolf to come in and fix it. And over the course of the next 10 years, Direwolf, with like pretty severe limitations, budget-based limitations, accessibility limitations, and just other things, kind of, turned the Pokemon trading card game online into what we ended up knowing it to be at the end of its life cycle. And then in 2018, the Pokemon Company International decided that they were going to try and take the reins back and develop the digital client again, right? And keep in mind, in 2010, they already kind of failed to develop their own TCG client, but I think maybe they had hoped that they had learned their lessons and that they had, more resources available and a better opportunity to develop their own client again. So, in 2018, the Pokemon Company International started developing their own client again, and that game that they were developing back then turned out to be the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live. And then in 2022, we learned about the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live and that they would be shutting down PTCGL, and the rest is history. So, the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live had been in development for 4 years by the time we finally heard about it. And then it got launched in beta alongside the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online for a long time. And now we have the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live as our primary client. For me, the reason that I was so kind of upset about it is just because it just constantly felt like we were getting a worse tool to share the game, right? That's the reason why I'm so upset about it, is because the Pokemon Trading Card Game Live is a less enjoyable experience to pilot and to watch than the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, right? It's just if you think about the clients as being like a tool to share the game, it just or a tool for people to learn the game, it just made the game so much worse in a lot of ways, and that's been really hard for me to get over. And I'm over it now, but you're still gonna get my kind of side comments from time to time, because that's just the way it is. I mean, because we've kind of been through it all as a community, and now dealing with the fallout. I'm still not totally over it, because it's just such a mess. And I can't believe that the Pokemon Company International came up with the Pokemon TCG Live as the answer to the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. So, if you ask me, I'm a purist. I'm an idealist when it comes to tabletop gaming. I don't really even think that TCG Live needs to exist. I think that I could still create Pokemon TCG content every day, even if there was no digital client. Even if all we had was some fan-made clients, I could probably still make TCG client to share with you all, TCG content to share with you all. Now, thank you Wasteland Streams for that sub. Thank you Jeffrey1990 for that sub in the 1 year. Appreciate it. Thanks for the Prime sub. Thanks Wasteland Streams. Thank you. And the reason why is the Pokemon trading card game is a tabletop game meant to be played with friends. And tabletop games don't need to exist online. They don't need to. I guess, when you think of a game like chess, chess does have online simulators and things like that. But, an online simulator is not necessary for chess to exist in the capacity that it exists. I mean, it's nice for players to be able to get into the game, of course, but chess would still exist even without, an online chess clients, though lots of tournaments and stuff happen online and stuff like that. It does increase accessibility. But I do think that the tabletop experience is the premier way to enjoy Pokemon cards. I think like the biggest thing for me is that it just felt like the TCG Live was a step backwards. And that like, and a lot of the community felt that way too. The one nice thing about TCG Live is that the game became easier to, get cards. They brought crafting along. But that doesn't mean that TCG Live is a good game. Like, that's the thing that I'm trying to... Just because there's crafting doesn't mean that it's a good game. Like, no, the game is constructed poorly. The cards are just, like, basically free now. Right? like that. But the game, like, the nuts and bolts of the game are not good. And it is... You would never, right, and I think Brandon was absolutely right. I would never tell my normie friend to download the Pokemon trading card game live because it's a fun way to play Pokemon cards. I wouldn't want someone who's on the fence about like getting into the Pokemon trading card game. I would never want them to download TCG Live because I'm afraid that would make them like Pokemon less. And that's, I think, just super depressing, right? I would never tell my friend, unironically, to download TCG Live and give it a try because I genuinely think it would make them like Pokemon less. TCG Live is fine for people who are already like kind of in deep. For all of us here who are already in, knee deep with Pokemon cards, and for all of us here who are already like, we're already in the Pokemon community. It is what it is. We're here. Then TCG Live is I don't want to say fine, but it'll get the job done. Right? Almost. It'll almost get the job done. So, like, for all of us that are already here, it's okay. Serviceable. It'll do. I can test my decks. The cards are mostly free. I've got a stack of code cards this big here on my desk that I haven't even bothered to input yet because cards aren't even tough to get on this client, so I just got a stack of code cards this big just chilling that I don't feel like putting in because it's more trouble than it's worth, right? That's just the way it is. I'm not excited to input the cards into the client because it doesn't feel like it's doesn't feel worth it. Yeah. But it is what it is. There's clearly no fixing it. It just is what it is. You just gotta hope that, the Pokemon community kind of already went through all of this back in 2010. But back in 2010, it was like okay to have a online client that barely worked because it was 2010, right? So back in 2010, when they were making the browser-based client, it was okay to have a clunky, weird, TCG game because it was 2010 and expectations were low across the board, right? Hearthstone didn't exist. Runes of Torterra or whatever didn't exist. All these Marvel Snap didn't exist, right? Back in 2010, the bar was lower, right? So, Magic Arena didn't exist. The bar was lower back then, so like you could kind of just fumble your way through it. And if you look at the timeline, like TPCI, started releasing that digital card game in like 2010, and then they hired Direwolf to take it over. And then, by like 2013, 2014, we had like, certainly by 2015, we had like a very stable and fine TCG client. I remember testing on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online like ad nauseum in 2014, 2015, and it worked. And I don't remember having like many issues with it. It just was fine. Like it got the job done. But this is 2014, 2015 as well. Like it was, it just did what it needed to do back then. But now we're kind of restarting that whole ordeal that the Pokemon community's already been through, where like we have kind of this scuffed client that like slowly gets polished like year after year into a usable like experience. We're starting that all over again. And now we're starting with a scuffed client again that slowly is going to get polished into maybe a passable client. Cherubi Jelly, it is ugly. TCG Live is hideous. TCG Live is so hideous. It is. And it's like that is subjective. But I could tell you objectively it's ugly. Objectively, TCG Live is ugly, for sure. Like, if you just are looking at the game board like this, you could be excused for being like, what's the problem? Especially if you've never played another game before, and if your expectations are kind of like low. But like you have all this really weird. I remember when I first started playing it, like these swirls, like the random swirls that pop up, like would give me headaches. And the game is so bad, I can't even use the deck builder to show off the deck. I have to use Limitless's deck builder and pop cards up myself. Everything looks like an AI generated version of like if you asked AI to like create a TCG client, like it would probably look like this. Oh, I remember, Brandon. The board animations are crazy. I actually the board animation for colorless Pokemon is so bad that I thought it was like a glitch. Like I assumed that the board animation. Also, this is like, if you want a proof of ugliness, never mind how the cards move and how things look. The board effects, all that. GG's, mates. GG's. Gutsy pickaxe. And there it is. GG's, mates. Like, these like menus that pop up over the cards when you click on them, they look horrible. Like, look at this. All right. Say I'm a fan of Pokemon cards, right? Like, I love Pokemon cards. I love the cards. I think the cards are so cool. My favorite thing about Pokemon cards, I know this is crazy, but what if my favorite thing about Pokemon cards is the cards, right? Let's pretend. Let's just pretend for a minute. Let's just pretend that my favorite part about the Pokemon cards is the cards, right? Let's just say, like, I really like the artwork on the cards. I really like the way the cards look. Okay. How much of the Pokemon card do we see here? Right here. How much of the Pokemon card do we see? Not even half. Half is generous. You're being, you not even half, bro. You've got like this giant block here. You've got these giant white ugly blocks here. You've got this giant tool thing. That's it. Let it rip. That's fine. Coming to you. Escape. Well, sad. It's fine. I think it's still correct to just. And hopefully. And aqua water energy. I know it's simple. That's fine, though. All right. Anyways, here's Kyogre. But when you use cards, like, look how much of the card is, look how much of the card is preserved. Look how much of the card is preserved. I mean, like, and like the attack boxes, it all just looks. It like, and this is not the gold standard, guys. This is like an outdated. This is an outdated client, right? Like TCGL was considered ugly, like already, but it was fine. Yeah, even look at the drop shadow. It's little things like that. Like, look at the drop shadow. I know. Little things. Because look at that. They have not benched attack animation. And with the skadoosh. TCG Live could never. Let them have their fun with their Kyogre. That's fine. You take one. And then I come in with the skadoosh. And Aqua Storm the bench. Now, the problem with this is that I do need to swing into this Umbreon VMAX. Right. Because they have not benched anything else for me. That's fine, though. All right. Anyways, here's Kyogre. Another, just like another water energy. I'm going to bench this. And Aqua Storm, let it rip. That's fine. There's one escape rope, but both your Houndoom Doom gone. 150 damage to them each. I'll take my 2 prizes. I want you guys to look at something. Are you telling me... Look at how this Aqua Storm... Look at how this Aqua Storm is managed. Look at the animations on the bench. Storm, let it rip. You're telling me TCG Live does this? Like, that looks... damage to them each. I'll take my 2 prizes. Like, are you kidding me? And hopefully find something good. Okay, just more energy. That's fine. It's not even close. Now they're going to knock out my guy, right? Max Darkness. That's fine. And then what I need to do is, like, thin my deck, increase my odds of finding Volcarona, right? So what I do... How many energy do I have in the discard pile? Like 9. Okay. And look how snappy that was. Like, look at that. Pulling up the discard pile. Look at this. Volcarona, right? Look at this. There's little things. They took so much away from us, dude. Look at how nice looking at the discard pile is. How many energy do I have in the discard pile? Like 9. Okay. see how nice that was?
So finding Volcarona, right? So what I do... How many energy do I have in the discard pile?
Like, look how smooth that looks, man.
Okay, it's element chain, 5 energy, solid. Yeah, exactly. So I have now thinned my deck. They have no idea. They have no idea. I'm going to totally get Sonya off the top. I've thinned my deck so much. So much. And they're not benching anything. Okay, well, we're almost there. Let's go here and have to... I'll element chain one more time to thin my deck even more. Okay. Okay. We're totally going to get it. Yeah. They're just going to take a knockout. Okay. They have no idea. Here it is. Off the top of the deck. I'm so confident. This is it. This is it right here. Yes! Yes. Yes, 400 damage.
Like, look at that attack. Look at the animation. Look how nice that. Look how the whole. Look how smooth everything looked. Like, look how smooth this whole thing is.
Confident. This is it. This is it right here. Yes. Yes.
Look how smooth.
Confident.
Like, look how smooth it is to play the Sonya and get those cards on. Like, it looks.
This is it. This is it right here. Yes. Yes. Yes, 400 damage.
All right. You see that? Do you see?
That's it.
GG's. It's just cool, and this is done. Okay, first we're gonna get this, and then we're gonna start drawing. Okay, pickaxe. There we go, and then we can do Ultra Ball. Away these. We can go get this guy. I need this guy too. I guess this guy first. We're gonna get this guy.
The resolutions are lower.
And then I actually don't need
the
that
UI
guy
is uglier.
I've got this, so I don't need Sneasler. I can just do it this way, and we can.
The
tap it on
animations
bits,
are
and then all I
soulless.
need to do is just find the tool, and this is Dunk. Carmine, tool, and it's over. Tool, and it's over. Come on, gutsy pickaxe, and there it is. GG's, mates. GG's. It's just that easy, folks. It's just that easy, folks.
Like, even little things like, look, the retreating, like, is ugly, right?
GG.
It all happens so fast, it's hard to, like, if you don't know what you're looking at, the retreating is ugly.
It's just that easy.
The using the ability on Brute Bonnet is ugly, you know?
Jeez. It's just that easy, folks.
And why does it pop from left to right? You know what I mean? It's like, it's
just
nitpicky,
that
but we
easy,
had something that
folks.
worked and, like, wasn't hideous.
And sweet.
You've got these like weird, random kind of like board effects that are just, yeah. It just looks like the whole thing was developed by AI. Like honestly, it looks like a failed impersonation of what a game should be. Like it doesn't look like it was developed with heart and soul at all. It just looks like an AI game. That's like I feel like that's like that's the most concise criticism I can give, is that it's soulless. It feels like it feels like a knockoff rather than a real game. So, yeah, anyways. And then that's just comparing it to TCGO. Like, you ever looked at a game like Marvel Snap? You ever looked at a game like Runes of Torterra? What is it? Runes of Runeterra? Legends of Runeterra, that's it. Like, games just look, man, there's so much that can be done, you know? But I'm hopeful for TCG Pocket. Because Pokemon TCG Pocket is like actually developed by the Pokemon Company, so there shouldn't be any discrepancy as far as like the art and the vibe of TCG Pocket, because like TCG Pocket's being developed by the Pokemon Company Japan and DNA, which developed Pokemon Masters EX. I think TCG Pocket could be good. That's kind of crazy. They kind of reveal to you there that you can customize your game board? Or no, is that just... Why are there hexagons? Leave the hexagons out of it. Please, bro, please. No more hexagons. Please. Why must you always include hexagons? I can forgive the hexagons if the cards look like this. I actually don't think that boards should be customizable. I think it's a whack decision to allow that, but... Is that like a card in like a digital case? Like, look at that. You've got it like on display in your room. That's crazy. Yo. If your criticism is that the Pokemon TCG Pocket seems like it's aimed more at collectors than it is at players, then I've got some really, really, really sad news for you guys. I've got some really sad news for you guys. How much money do you think competitive players make the Pokemon Company? And then how much money do you think collectors make the Pokemon Company? Yeah. Sad news for you guys, but it's that's just what it is. Yeah. We as players are the minority for sure. Yeah. Always have, always will be. It's true. The players probably cost the Pokemon Company. But you know what? We can play this game, so that's fine. And then the Mewtwo. So I think I'm still not like wowed by the atmosphere in Pokemon TCG Pocket, but what I am wowed by is how the cards look, right? And that's fine. You know, the atmosphere doesn't need to be snazzy. It's a purely mobile game. That's okay, right? So long as the atmosphere is sufficient, it'll get the job done. The artwork on the cards and the flow of the game all look exceptional, though. And that is really going to make the mobile experience feel alive, right? The fact that these cards, like when you pull a card, look how exciting it looks to pull a card. Like the cards look so good. Like that looks magnificent. The holo pattern on these things looks insane. I mean, just look at the Pikachu, right? The 3D effects. It's cool. The cards look great. Like I said, I mean, yeah, look at this. Like that looks insane. As far as the atmosphere goes, it's very simple, right? I mean, you've got like a two-toned Pokeball and not a lot else going on. And that's okay because on this client, but look at that attack animation. That right there, what you are experiencing right there is already stronger than anything that exists on Pokemon TCG Live. Look at it. Like, look at the 200 damage. Look at it. It happens so fast, but you're not really appreciating how much TCG Live doesn't do that. You know? TCG Live's attack animations are miserable. Like the card slams down and you've got the 200 pop up. You've got a little fire whirl popping around your opponent's card. Like that just looks good. It looks good. It looks concise. You're not like... I think one of the biggest design flaws with the Pokemon TCG Live is that the animations go behind the cards. I absolutely hate that. I will not like it. Like, I hate it. I feel like it takes away from the game and it's distracting. But attack animations are cool. But having an attack animation like take up the whole board doesn't make any sense to me. I feel like it was kind of a cheap way to... It feels like it was done not because it was a good way to do it, but because it was like the easiest way for them to do it. And that's kind of what the whole TCG Live experience feels like. It feels like the entire TCG Live experience was created not because it was like optimal or looked good or felt good, but because it was like convenient. And like your player base is gonna get hip to that, right? Like your player base is gonna notice. You can't just like easy mode your way out of things. But this game looks pretty. And it, you know, a lot of the backgrounds are kind of like these just very subtle hues you get. You know, if you look at like this Greninja here, you're not really having a lot of snazzy stuff in the background. And that's okay. Because I think the whole concept of TCG Live is, or TCG Pocket, is that the emphasis is on the cards. The emphasis is on the cards. Like, look at the Squirtle. The emphasis is on the Squirtle. The background is just there to not get in the way. And that's nice. It's pretty. Yeah, the attack looks good. Yeah. I'm excited about this. You know, we'll see how it goes. As it is right now, I'm optimistic. I think the idea of the game is to make collecting and playing fun. On your phone. I think with TCG Live, I don't think that the Pokemon Company International has succeeded on either front. I don't think that playing TCG Live is fun, and I don't think that collecting the cards is fun. On Pokemon Trading Card Game Online, you know, people did like collecting cards on PTCGL because they were kind of hard to get, right? But on TCG Live, the cards are really easy to get, so collecting them's not very fun. And they don't look great. So there's like that kind of... I think what's cool about Pocket is that they are doing things that like cannot exist in real life, right? So it's not just kind of copying the paper game and putting it onto a digital space. It seems like the Pokemon Company Japan has no interest in doing that, which is why they've relegated that task to the Pokemon Company International. But it does seem kind of neat that they are using TCG Pocket as a way to do things creatively that cannot be done in paper cards, right? Like allowing you to more deeply explore artwork, you know, trade with people all over the world, stuff like that. Like there's cool stuff that you're going to be able to do on Pocket that you couldn't necessarily do with paper cards. So I don't know. We'll see. Comes out October 30th. seems neat. We'll be trying it for sure. But, you know, if it's just like a huge money sink and all you do is open packs and look for rare cards, like I've got no interest in doing that really. So let's look at what people are cooking up for Arcaludon. This list is playing Arcaludon with Ceruledge, and that seems kind of strange to me. I do think you could just play an Arcaludon deck, which is like what we're seeing here. Just with, but I kind of want to see like the Pokestops. I like seeing the Pokestops in the deck, as that will help you to get energy into the discard pile more consistently. Here's Arcaludon with Dialga V-Star. Here's Arcaludon with Dialga V-Star and Dusknoir. Holy smokes. Here's Arcaludon with Revavroom. I see quite a few people are playing the fish there. Oh yeah, Jesse? That's pretty cool. Where's my Surging Sparks? Here we go. Nice. $130, discard 2. Why would you... Arcaludon? No, I'm going with Arcaludon. Arcaludon. Duraludon. Arcaludon. Is it like Arcaludon? It's probably not Arcaludon. Arcaludon. We'll call it that. Like Duraludon. Arch. Arc. Arch. I mean, like Arch and Arc, you could say it either way, right? Because you could say like there's an arc or there's an arch. I think it's arc, like an arc. Duraludon. Now that I'm thinking about it, like you kind of emphasize the ah in Duraludon. So what if it's Arcaludon? Arcaludon. Arcaludon? Like that? Yeah, I bet. Yo, what's up, Matt Velasquez? Yo, appreciate the sub in the 20 months, Matt. Hopefully you're doing well. The best finish Arcaludon has right now is a top 8 City League. It's only Monday. The set came out on Friday. There we go. Ceruledge. Now this is what I'm talking about right here. This is what I'm talking about. Why is there a Zamazenta V? Oh, I see. Wait. This card's broken. How come nobody's ever played this card? This card's nuts. Wait. This card is insane. Turn 1, Squawkabilly Zamazenta V. You go turn 1, Carmine, Squawkabilly, Zamazenta V, and discard, like, your whole deck. Your turn ends? Yeah, but it's still broken. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh, I'm saving this deck list for show. Building that. Definitely. The V-Star? Dude, we're not playing the V-Star, guys. All of your Pokemon take 100 less damage? Okay, wait, he is broken. Wait. Wait, no, he is broken. He's really broken. Wait. Yo, he's nuts. 100 less damage? No, we're not attacking with them. All right, you're not attacking with Zamazenta. That's not why he's here. You're just using the V-Star deck, or the V-Star. You got 4 Sealstone. Just put Zamazenta right there. Zamazenta V-Star. Easy. Dang, we got Briar here too. Oh yeah, this deck is broken. Flygon? Ain't no way that Flygon is cooking. Okay, here we go. Flygon, Pidgeot. Basically, Flygon has a hit and run attack that allows you to do 130 damage for 1 energy, and then you hit and then you run. However, man, there are so many ways to boss. And Radiant Jirachi, yeah, you hit and run into Radiant Jirachi. All right, that's actually kind of sick. All right, I'm going to have to get Jesse Parker to bring his Miraidon deck so that I can beat him with my Flygon deck. I'll have to be like, oh, yeah. Hit and run into Jirachi. Hit and run into Klefki. Hit and run into Mimikyu. This deck owns Arceus V decks. So true. I do like the simplicity of this. I have to say, it does seem kind of simple. You got 2 TM Devos. No, I'm just kidding, Jesse. You don't need to play Miraidon against my Flygon deck. That's okay. We already had you play Miraidon last time. Tord cooked with Jirachi at Baltimore. Did he? I don't think I saw him in the top 16. '64th place. Okay. Top 64. 47th place. Yeah, man. There sure is a Radiant Jirachi in here. There sure is, folks. Amongst other things. Yeah, do not try that deck at home. Turn 1 Klefki can be pretty tough to deal with. Alolan Executor? No way we've got Alolan Executor decks. Dude, what are we doing here? No way. Not Executor Galvantula. Those are like the two worst Terra Pokemon. Executor Weird Ear? No, man, no. I think Executor is so bad. There's only 3 deck lists. Yeah, stop cooking. Wait, where do you search, Jesse? How do you search? Type it into the database here? Seems wrong. Oh, cards. Cool. Oh, City League deck list. No! No top 8 Flygon decks. No. It's fine. It's only Monday, y'all. It's only Monday. It's only Monday. Still got Raging Bolt. Doing well. Yo, what? Not the Poison Trio. Palkia, Goldengo. Dang, they really got everything. Everything over there. Charizard, Palkia, Noctowl, Ceruledge, Dragapult. Dang, yeah, Dragapult crazy. It's Tuesday? All right, whatever, it's Tuesday. Okay, but Monday, we don't have Tuesday results yet. Maybe we do have Tuesday's results. It's Tuesday. Whatever, all right? I've got a baby at home. I haven't slept, all right? I haven't slept. I'm running on fumes. You got it? It's fumes. It's fumes, guys. I'm barely making it from day to day right now. My bad, Unk. Yeah, baby's home. Baby's doing great. Thanks for asking. Yes. Yes, this is our first child. He's 3 weeks old almost, like 2.5 weeks old. It's crazy. It is crazy. It's been an absolute joy, but also last night he decided to be a party animal. So I saw Ben Morris. JD is absolutely running you guys off the table right now. I know. JD is making you guys all look like some scrubs at GLC League. It's true. He's got 3 badges, but 3 badges, that's not an insurmountable amount of badges. JD, I'll have you back on for best of 5 or best of 4 conquests, best of 7 conquests. That's right. I'll have you back on for another best of 7 conquest anytime, JD. Anytime. We could rerun it. See if you can outdo last time's 4-1 bout. But yes, JD's got the badge lead right now at Full Grip League. He's got 3 badges. He just won with Cherim Grass. It's pretty cool to see. All right, you got it, JD. Yeah, JD's got the badge lead. But many gamers hot on his tail. Expanded tabletop. I thought about doing expanded. But like, also then I'd have to like build the decks, and expanded format is it's just like, come on, you know, like really? It can't be worth it. All right. This is the expanded guru of the world. Stefan Ivanov. Where's the expanded content? Here we go. Tusk Mill. Bruh. Tusk Mill. Expanded Tusk Mill. You just play 4 Sawdust Vitality. Random receiver. You're guaranteed to find it every time. Life Dew. Heat Factory. 4 Focus Sash. That's crazy. I know. I feel like I'd rather read about expanded decks than play them. Anybody else? I don't feel the desire to play them at all. The main Pokemon is Great Tusk, which you already know if you play Standard. There are 2 main ways the expanded version improves on Standard. First, thanks to Verse Seeker and Random Receiver, you can play Sawdust Vitality every turn. Since Giant Tusk, Great Tusk has very few uses in the format, the deck doesn't need fighting energy. Instead, it plays fire energy. So you can play Heat Factory. And then you've got Focus Sash, which makes it so you can't get knocked out. And then you run cards that recover. You basically got all these annoying tools. Yeah, Expanded hasn't had a sanctioned event in a long time, since 2020. There we go. And look who was there. That's right. The last expanded event ever. And just look at this format we had. Wowee. Trevenant, Dustnor, Rowlet, Alolan Executor, Sceptile, Vileplume, Trevenant, Dustnor, Hoopastall, Dollstall, and Snorlax VMAX, baby. Let's go. God, this deck was so sick. Look at, you can't even fit it all on a... Yeah, look at that. God, look how hot that deck is. There's a literal Galarian Rapidash in here. I don't remember what my record was to get into top 8. This was 4 years ago. It was good enough. This was the last regional before COVID. You played the Ditto Prism Star and Nagana. Look at all these 1-ofs. God, it's so sick. You played a 1-1 Alola Muck. You played a 1-1 Altaria. You played a 1-1 Galarian Rapidash. A 1-1 or a 0-1 Naganadel GX. You only played the Ditto Prism Star so you could evolve into Naganadel GX. Yeah, I never used the Galarian Rapidash, but it was so sick. This card was here in case I happened to play against Shocklock. Because that was the expanded like stall deck that I was expecting with Shocklock. So Galarian Rapidash can just auto win us the Shocklock matchup because Shocklock tries to keep your attacker paralyzed every turn, but all you have to do is get Galarian Rapidash into play, and it just makes it so that they just literally can't. So the Galarian Rapidash, we never used it, but it's because I never played against Shocklock. But if I did play against Shocklock, they were getting bodied. For sure. And the target whistle, dude, we were nuts. Only 2 main attackers, just 2 Snorlax VMAX. Crazy. Guardian Sylveon? Holy smokes. Yo, God, that's so crazy. Tag team GXs and all that. And then we can't talk about expanded format without talking about JW Creewall. Remember when we created the expanded meta-defining Rowlegs deck? Remember when we defined a format, JW? I remember. I don't know that in my Pokemon career I'll ever experience something as broken as showing up to the expanded event in Richmond, Virginia with this collection of 60 cards. It felt so unfair. Like almost every matchup I sat across from, all I had to do was go turn 1 super growth into this guy and I won on the spot. Of course, JW. Of course I could. There were so many times where you just went, oh yeah, I'll turn 1 evolve my Oddish into Vileplume and we just win. It was crazy. So JW won that regional. I bubbled out of top 8 at 10th place. Both me and Brian Hunter finished with the same amount of match points as Ian Robb. So I finished 10th there. Zeely got top 8. Brady got his first regional top 32 there with the Rowlegs deck. Jimmy. Oh, yeah. End of an era, guys. End of an era. Riley, of course, won the biggest expanded regional of all time. I also bubbled out of top 8 of this regional championship. And what's crazy is if I don't bubble out of top 8, I play Riley in top 8, right? And I've played Riley in this matchup, my Buzzrock against his Zoroark, and I win it every time. So I'm just saying, robbed of another regional win. Right here. I literally just brought a standard Buzzrock deck to the expanded regional and almost top 8'd. It was kind of hype, honestly. I bubbled out a lot. Why, yes, I did bubble out a lot, which is why I got, you know what? That's why I say it just is what it is with bubbling. You can't fix bubbling, all right? It just is what it is. Bubbling builds character. Yes. Bubbling builds character, folks. As I've been saying. Is it okay or fair to say my group has always been more expanded demons than standard until Jesse came around? Absolutely not. But we were very good at expanded. We were good at expanded, but no, if you look at like Riley, I like to think that we were good at both formats for sure. Yeah, Riley's got a top 32 worlds in standard. He's got an expanded regional win, sure. He's also got a top 4 in standard, top 4 regional standard. A bunch of regional top 8s. JW has won 2 standard regionals and 1 expanded regional. So that's a no on JW as well. And myself, I mean, the regional I won was literally both standard and expanded, so that's kind of hilarious. But yeah, in 2015, you played standard day 1 and you play expanded day 2 at all regional championships. That's what you did. So when I won my regional in 2015, and then I got 9th place at that World Championship, I bubbled out of Worlds in 2015, which was standard format. So no, we're cracked at expanded. Don't get me wrong, but no, we're really good at standard too. I like having 2 formats. I mean, having 2 formats was awesome because I feel like having 2 formats just like really rewards the deck builders. It really rewards people who like get in the lab and like fine-tune deck lists and have like a vast knowledge of the card pool. But yeah, so like 9th place Worlds, that was standard. 2nd place Regionals, standard. I top 32 to Regional Championship with Raikou Eels, that was expanded. Top 8'd NAIC, that was standard. Standard. And then I took, well, no, this is expanded. So like I literally took a standard deck to an expanded event and almost top 8'd it. Yeah, standard. Like all these events are standard. Except I just, we're just beasts, bro. We're just beasts. And then, 2 Worlds finishes, obviously both standard. No, I have way more standard finishes than I do expanded finishes, but that's because they had less expanded events. Then when me and Mew V Max had a fling. This deck was a lot of fun. Vikare was crazy. This deck was nuts. Played Shining Lugia. This card went from being like bulk to $15 like overnight, which is really funny. But yeah, so the idea of Vikare was that you had this Rayquaza, and Rayquaza did Dragon Break, 30 damage times the amount of lightning and grass energy attached to your Pokemon. And then you used Vikavolt. You just set up Vikavolt, and then you accelerated grass and lightning energy into play. People thought that, before this regional championship, people thought that this was a meme. But nah, it was serious. I definitely was like, I was cooking leading up to that regional championship with Vikare. Let's see, go to, Philly. Like, we had one other Vikare. No, there's one other Vikare. All right, we had a couple of Vikares. But yeah, Vikare was kind of this, like, underrated, secret-ish kind of deck heading into this format, right? There were people who thought it was real, like me, and there were people who thought it was fake, but Vicaray did end up showing up. I finished in top 16. There was another in top 16 and one in top 8. Enough with all of our group's good deck lists. Let's talk about the ones we wasted lots of time on. So true. Some of the worst decks. All right. Natalie always likes to tell this story. Whenever we're talking about the worst decks we've ever come up with, man, this was one of the worst decks I ever came up with. It was a Huntail deck. God, the thing is that these lists are so bad. Like, some of our worst decks that we ever came up with were so bad that I don't think like that visual representation of the deck list exists anywhere. Yeah, so Huntail does 20 damage times the amount. And then I remember I was like trying to store energy. I was trying to store energy on like Regirock for some reason. Yeah, this guy, because this guy, you couldn't use Lysander to bring Regirock into the active spot because of its Omega Barrier trait. So like I'd put like EXP share on the Regirock and then like try to. I remember I was trying to make this deck work, and I was testing with Natalie, and I told Natalie, if I can't get my Huntail deck to beat Volcanion, then I'll take it apart. And I went through all the trouble of building the Huntail deck, and then asked Natalie to play games against me, and then, you know, she ended up dominating me with Volcanion, who is weak to water, let me remind you. So then we had to take the Huntail deck apart. Another deck, gosh, I tried to make Greninja GX work so badly. I did. Not this guy. Was it that guy? God, it must have been this guy. This card is so bad. This is it? Holy smokes, this card is so bad. Why was I trying to get this card to work? This card is so bad. Oh, man. Oh, this card was so terrible. But you had like the Frogadier that also did 20 damage when you evolved it. I think I wanted it to work because it reminded me of Landers Crobat, and that's the deck that I won a regional championship with. You know, you evolve into one and you do 2 damage counters, you evolve into the other and you do 3. Yeah, the GX attack, 130 damage. Yeah, it's just not. Listen, it's not good. I think like the most egregious deck that I ever played at a tournament ever was certainly my 2015 U.S. National deck choice. I won a regional championship that year, and back then, if you won a regional championship during a season, you got 2 buys at Nationals. So at 2015 U.S. Nationals, I got 2 buys. So I started 2-0 at the U.S. National Championship, but like I overcooked myself so hard that I ended up dropping after a few rounds because I was playing like the worst deck ever conceived. Now, I had recently top 16'd a regional championship with Raichu. Gosh, those events are not on here. That's so sad. God, because this season was so sick. Yeah, so 2015, that's where like so like literally the season leading up to this result here, the 9th place at Worlds. Yeah, because I I top 16 to regional with a Circle Circuit Raichu deck, and I was like dead set on playing Raichu for nationals that year, and Raichu is a very simple Pokemon. It attacked for just 1 double colorless energy, which I really liked. Holy smokes, where is it? Here he is. Yeah, and it just 20 damage times the number of your bench Pokemon. Skyfield had been released, so you could... Oh, yeah, I put it on TCG Legends. Yeah. I think I told Alex Wilson about this. Let's see, players. Andre Machone. No, let's see. Well, no, it's not on here. Okay, because these are just... Yeah. So I think he's like thinking about adding regionals. Like regionals. Yeah. Hasn't added the regionals yet. Okay, that's fine. But yeah, so the idea of this deck was that you put Skyfield into play. You can have up to 8 bench Pokemon, and then you Circle Circuit for like 160 damage. And then when you attach Muscle Band, which increases your damage output by 20, then you could do 180 damage. And all the best Pokemon in the format had 180 hit points. So this was like my favorite deck, was just Raichu deck, right? You just evolve into Raichu, attach double colorless, attach Muscle Band, and you can one-hit KO everything. I thought this deck was sick. But the deck only worked because of this card. Lysander's trump card. And if you guys know anything about Lysander's trump card, is that it didn't last, okay? Yeah, this card got banned after 1 regional championship. In fact, I only got to play my Raichu deck at 1 regional championship, because that's the regional that Jason won with his Turbo Seismitoad deck, and then the card got banned. So I was playing Raichu, Circle Circuit Raichu, at that regional, and I was playing Lysander's trump card in my list, and that's how I was able to build the deck, because my Raichu deck only played 4 double colorless energy. That's all it played, right? You just played 4 double colorless energy. Because then you could just Circle Circuit, and then if you needed to put more double colorless energy back into your deck, you just played Lysander's trump card. And you put all the cards from your discard pile back into the deck. And then you could Circle Circuit again. And you never ran out of Pokemon either. Like if your opponent discarded your bench, yeah, it was Madison Regionals 2015. If your opponent like discarded your bench or whatever, hold on. Pull that up. There's video proof of this. Let's see. Not that. I know there's video proof of this. Was it Madison? It was Madison. Oh, I know. Andrew Mahone. I know there's video evidence. So it's this regional right here. But anyways, I was on a stream round that regional, and I won my stream round with Raichu. But you do 180 damage with Raichu. You use the Lysander's trump card, and you put the energy back into the deck. You put all your Pokemon back into the deck. All that stuff. And then Lysander's trump card got banned after that regional. But I was already kind of like locked into Raichu, and I loved Raichu so much. There was this Raichu Crobat deck that people were trying to play, and I thought that was okay, but I didn't like it as much as my kind of like Turbo Raichu deck that I had been playing previously. And so I was set on trying to make my Turbo Raichu deck work at U.S. Nationals this year, even though the main part of it, which was Lysander's trump card, got banned. And it was disastrous. I got so deep in the tank that I put a I put a 1/1 Mega Ray in the deck. I did get streamed that tournament. I played against somebody with a Crawdaunt deck, JR. On stream. Yeah, I put a 1/1 Mega Ray in my deck. I had Darkness Energy. I had Yveltal in there. It was just horrible. I had Oblivion Wing Yveltal to like accelerate extra energy into play. Was I a backup match? No, I played against Crawdaunt. It was a Crawdaunt guy. I like 2-0'd him so fast. I wasn't a backup match. I like 2-0'd him. I was playing against a Crawdaunt fella. Guy was playing Seismitoad Crawdaunt. Yeah, it was Crawdaunt. Yeah, Crawdaunt. Because I was like one of the top seeds at that event. This guy. Prove it? Oh, all right. Yeah, it was your friend Austin. We played Seismitoad Crawdaunt. See? Yes. Yes. Let's see. I was one of the top seeds at that regional. Let's see. Let's see. Pokemon. Pokemon. Official Pokemon YouTube channel. Live. And then if you go all the way back, let's see if you do live by oldest. Okay. No. All right. Let's see. We've got to do. We need to go further back than that, folks. Let's see. Pokemon Spring Regionals 2015. I know what I did. I know it's. Some of this is lost to time, folks. This is the very first year that Pokemon started streaming their regionals. So, like, some of the stuff is just mad old. Yo, Philly regionals? Holy smokes, what deck am I cooking here? Wait, is this Vikaray? This is Vikaray.
Shadow for now. Yeah.
I was just talking about this.
He knew that it was not a $5 card, so he scooped up
Oh
plenty of
yeah.
them.
There's me playing Vikaray right
What's going
there.
on here?
Hype. 13 years ago. Dang, that stuff's old. Let's just look at the oldest videos from the official Pokemon YouTube channel. Yo, Legendary Treasures. Gosh. Or not. That's fine. ...2012, 2013. Part of what I'm kind of excited to do is like, YouTube projects I'm starting to embark on once I get settled and I'm able to get back into my routine, is I definitely want to do more like kind of archival history telling stuff on my YouTube channel. Do the 2015 World Championships. That's crazy. And here's me. Like I said, I won the very first regional championship ever streamed by the Pokemon Company International. And here it is right here. 2015 Winter Regional Championships. Here's the VGC and here's the TCG. And that's me. Boom. 9 years ago. That was the regional that I won. The very first regional streamed by TPCI. Which was really hyped to be a part of, honestly. It was super cool. All right, and then we've got, the only video evidence of that spring regionals is top 8. They don't have the other matches, right? But I did get stream, and it's crazy is I feel like not that long ago, like I watched Wisconsin. Okay, let's see. Oh, there it is! You told me to prove it, and here it is! That's me! There's my silly Raichu deck! See? I freaking told you! Yeah, look at this Raichu deck, dog! Yes, thank you, Random Effect. I appreciate that. Yo, look at this. All right, so here's the magic of this messed up deck. Here's the magic. The Ninetales is the magic. All right, so look at this. Look at this Ninetales. Ninetales says each player can't play any stadium cards from their hand. So then what you did is you locked Skyfield in play. Right? Man. You locked Skyfield in play, which made it so that you could have 8 Pokemon on your bench. You lock Skyfield with Barrier Shrine, right? And then you just went in with your Raichu. You have 8 bench Pokemon. You go in with Raichu with a Muscle Band, and look at this board. You're just going, bop, Seismitoad's dead. Bop, Seismitoad's dead. Lysander, Shaman, game. And then the dope thing about Ninetales was that, man. The dope thing about Ninetales was that you also had the Bright Look Ninetales. So you had the Barrier Shrine Ninetales, which made it so that your opponent couldn't play any stadiums. And then you had this Ninetales, which you could just use Bright Look and bring up. How'd I get around Item Lock from Toad? Good question. Glad you asked. So Seismitoad is only doing 30 damage at a time, and Raichu has free retreat. So you could literally just kind of like, you could just let a Raichu sit in the active and take 30 damage and then retreat it into another Raichu. Like if you needed to buy time, you could do things like that. You could also use Raichu free retreat into Shaman and use Shaman to Sky Return. Like right here, you see I kind of just had a Shaman in the active with a Float Stone, and I was using that to like, I was using that as like a wall, right? Like I was going to sit behind my Shaman until I got all my guys set up. But the deck just played like a very draw heavy engine. So the item lock didn't bother me too much. And the thing is that Raichu is one-hit KOing Seismitoad if you have a Muscle Band. But since Seismitoad could item lock turn 1, you had to try and draw enough cards to put down as many Muscle Bands as you could turn 1. That was like the challenge of the deck. You had to try and find, I think I was playing 3 Muscle Band. You had to try and find your Muscle Bands and put them down on Pikachus turn 1 so that by the time your opponent used Quaking Punch, then you could just bring up your Pikachu, evolve it into Raichu, attach double colorless, and go knockout. But Shaman really helped you to kind of draw through the deck and have those explosive turn 1s that you needed to deal with the the Seismitoad. Another broken thing about this deck was that it was all level ball searchable too. So you could use Ultra Ball and level ball to search out your Pikachu. Your Ninetales had 90 hit points. Your Raichu had 90 hit points. Your both Ninetales had 90 hit points. Yeah, it was nuts. So yeah, this was sick. Man, that was so much fun. Anyways, that was like one of my favorite decks that I ever played was that Raichu deck. But I was really dead set on playing Raichu even after Lysander's trump card got banned, and it was much to my downfall because Raichu was not good after Lysander's trump card got banned, but I really wanted it to be good, but no amount of willing it to be good could make it good, unfortunately. So yeah, anyways, I've played many, many bad decks over the years. And that one of my favorite things to do in Pokemon is deck building. I mean, I love deck building. I love brewing. It's one of the reasons why I liked Expanded during the time was because Expanded kind of rewarded that experimentation, and it rewarded those, people who really liked to invest their time into deck building to come up with something new. And it felt like there was always something new to discover and Expanded for a period of time. I don't think so much anymore, but for a period of time, it felt like there was always something new to discover. Brandon said he heard me say once that the worst deck I ever played to an event was Psychic Recharge Malamar. God, that's so true. That deck was terrible. That was the regional championship that Will Mantho won. Or not won, got second. Excuse me, he didn't win. He got second. Full Grip Games employee Will Mantho at the Madison, Wisconsin Regional Championships. Like, look at this meta breakdown, okay? Just look at it. Look at the meta breakdown. Look at how many Buzzwole decks there are, all right? Buzzwole, 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 Buzzwole. Like, insane, right? So clearly, if everybody is playing a Buzzwole deck, then all you have to do is show up with a Psychic deck like Malamar, and you should be able to win. Right? Wrong. I think I went like 1-3 drop at this event. God, Malamar was so bad, bro. It was so bad. Like, you have a couple of Malamar decks that did well, but like, dude, this deck was heinous. This deck was so bad. And you know it was bad because, like, look at how many Buzzwole decks there are, and Malamar, like, Malamar was not underplayed. People knew that Buzzwole was going to be popular, and people wanted to show up and play Malamar and beat all the Buzzwole decks, and they couldn't. Like, that's how bad Malamar was. Like, Malamar was being played as the Buzzwole counter deck, and it didn't even counter Buzzwole. Yeah, so heinous. Absolutely heinous. Dang. What the heck is this? Man, what am I looking at? What's the etiquette for dropping if I'm 0-3 but having a good time? Is it okay to keep playing? Absolutely. Yeah. There's no etiquette on dropping. If you want to keep playing, keep playing. There's lots of people who are just going to play all 9 rounds out. I just am not. No. I will drop as soon as my chances for day 2 are no longer existent. So as soon as that is, I drop from the event. And sometimes even sooner if I just feel like it. Yeah, sometimes I'll drop even sooner. I've been known to drop at O2. Or not O2. I don't know that I've ever gone O2 at a regional. Maybe one time. All right, Natalie will correct me. One time I started O2, and I think it was because I was playing Turbo Dark once. Yeah. Maybe one event ever I started O2 at. But 1-2, ugh, yeah. Usually, I'll drop it like 3-2. A lot of times, if I'm like 3-2, I'm like not having a good time. 3-2-1, I'll be like, nah, bro. If the deck feels like trash on the day too, sometimes I'll just, and then sometimes I'll grind it out. Like, I started 0-1 at the regional I got second at in 2016. I lost my round 1 playing Veltal Garb and then just rallied back and stopped losing. Yeah, old man cringe. I do play for the love of the game. I don't love playing 50-minute best of threes at a regional for nothing though. Like, I don't. But I do play for the love of the game. But I don't need to play for the love of the game at the 0-3 tables. Like, I'm good. It's way too sweaty in those convention centers, okay? Like, and sometimes, like, when you're playing a bad deck, the best thing you can do is just put it in the deck box and forget about it. And you can always go do side events for the love of the game. It's so true. For sure. GLC side events, things like that. Retro, cube, exactly. Like, sitting at a regional and playing with a losing record is, like, not my idea of fun. No. Yeah. Like, sitting there, it's like, you guys see how depressed Bryce Young looks out there, all right, playing for the Panthers? Nobody's having fun, okay? Do you think that Bryce Young should just stick it out for the love of the game? Like, no, bro. Not anymore. I know, he got benched. I know. He got benched. He should stick it out because he's getting paid. Yes, and he was, but he didn't look like he was having a good time. No, you could tell his body language. He was slumped, bro. He was slumped. He was giving up on himself. And like, I mean, how could you not, right? Yeah, I love side events. I played in the 06 side event at Indy this last year. That was like some of the most fun I'd had playing Pokemon cards in a long time. But like, not the kind of person who's going to keep playing at 03. That's just not me. I'd rather do, because like, ultimately, like, I'm still in a very competitive setting. I'd rather just re-roll and go do something else. I'd rather, rather than try to, keep playing where I have no hopes of making day 2. Thank you, Mellow Arc, for that Prime sub. Appreciate it. Gosh, the Ravens could be in real deep trouble, though. My Ravens. Man. Really needed to not lose that last one to the Raiders, but we imploded. That was horrible. Yeah. Now we got the Cowboys, and then the Bills, then the Bengals. Yeah. These next 3 weeks, we're gonna see what we're made of these next 3 weeks. We're gonna see what we're made of, baby. It's time. Hopefully the Raiders was a wake-up call. I mean, the Chiefs, that game was close. The Raiders game was close. I mean, they threw in the final quarter against the Raiders. I know. The Ravens could start 0-5. No, I don't think we'll lose to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are not good. And that people think that they're good, but they're not. I think the Cowboys just beat up on bad teams, and then people start to think that the Cowboys are good, but then the Cowboys are just definitely not good. The Cowboys just beat up on bad teams all day, and then people think that they're decent. Oh my God, I am so mad because last night I was up late watching football with my baby that wasn't sleeping. And then I turned off, like literally when the Eagles got the ball back, I turned off the game because I was like, oh, the Eagles have this one wrapped up, bro. I turned off the game. There were 2 minutes left. I literally turned the game off. I was like, yeah, this one's a freaking wrap. I turned the game off, and then I woke up this morning, and it was like Falcons with the insane comeback, and I was like, whoa, what? Like, oh my God. I was so mad I turned it off. Like, I watched the whole game all the way up until the final 2 minutes. I know. Well, I ended up watching it back, and I see what happened, but oh my gosh. Ugh. Well, now I'll never turn off a game early again when it's a one-score game, I guess. You notice how the Falcons had all their timeouts, though? Okay. You know who didn't have all their timeouts? The Ravens. Why? Because we wasted 2 of them on stupid challenge plays. Anyways. There was so much that went wrong in that Ravens game. It was atrocious. Hopefully they get their act together, but history is not on their side right now. The Ravens have not made the playoffs when they've started 0-2. Not great. The Falcons had no timeouts? No, but they had timeouts leading up to that. Like, they had no timeouts when they made the final drive, but they had timeouts to get them to that point, right? They let all 3 of them fly. That's why I thought that it was over, because they were only going to get the ball with 30, 40 seconds left and no timeouts. Falcons wasted all their timeouts. I mean, not wasted. They used all their timeouts to Kenny G, you're a Bears fan? Oh, I'm sorry. Caleb Williams is not looking very good, huh? They need to stop. I saw something on Twitter about I saw something on Twitter where where Tom Brady was saying how much of a shame it is that, that head coaches are just kind of like thrusting these young quarterbacks into like their careers before they have time to develop. And I think that's true. I mean, like, not every college quarterback can handle just being thrust into thrust into the spotlight. I mean, unless you're freaking CJ Stroud. Right? I mean, like, CJ Stroud is crazy. CJ Stroud, I mean, what's also crazy is, like, imagine if CJ Stroud gets drafted by the Panthers. Like, that's history right there. You guys realize, like, football history, dude. Like, imagine if CJ Stroud gets snatched up by the Panthers. Do you think, and now, like, CJ Stroud is, like, one of the top performing quarterbacks in the league. I know. Slaughterhope, please stop. It still hurts. I mean, Lamar Jackson ended up performing because he ended up getting put in, like halfway through his rookie season, or like a few games into his rookie season. And Lamar Jackson was able to start producing alongside Joe Flacco. But like, it should be the exception and not the rule that we're just chucking these like freshman rookie quarterbacks into roles where they just have to like sink or swim. And now it's like, look, like, how many of these guys do we need to freaking roast out here? You know, CJ Stroud, or not CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young. CJ Stroud, I mean, he's swimming, bro. He's doing great. But yeah, it's been kind of crazy to see these teams just like go all in on these draft picks, and then it feels like every team thinks they need like an all-star quarterback. You know, and just look at the Steelers. They don't even score any points, and they can win. The Steelers don't have a good quarterback, and they'll probably go positive this year. You don't need an all-star quarterback, all right? Just look at the Steelers. The Steelers are like the worst team to watch in football, but they can still win games. And it's like, oh my, it's funny because I live in Akron, and, you know, there's a lot of Browns fans around me, but like, God, the Browns organization is such a joke. What an absolute joke. The fact that they felt like they needed to get rid of Baker Mayfield, and like the impatience says it all. They were impatient with Baker Mayfield, and then they like chewed him up, spit him out, and then they went and got Deshaun Watson, the most problematic quarterback in the league. And instead, you know, we got good guy Baker Mayfield. Everybody loves Baker Mayfield, right? Baker Mayfield, good guy. Baker Mayfield is out living his best life in Tampa Bay and winning playoff games, right? And he's happy. And he's successful. And you know what? Baker Mayfield is an above average quarterback. He's not like elite. He's not elite. And that's okay. He's just a good, solid, above average quarterback. And you can develop above average quarterbacks into great quarterbacks if you are patient and you take the time to do that. Listen, I don't know enough about Baker Mayfield. Maybe he's not a good guy. Okay, but he's got to be a better guy than Deshaun Watson. All right, he has to be. Yeah, he has he has to be. He has to be better than Deshaun Watson, bro. Like Deshaun Watson, it is like a shame to have Deshaun Watson as the lead of your franchise here in Cleveland. Nick Chubb is the face of our franchise? Yeah, and he's hurt. Yeah. But just, and you see how much kind of the leadership of the franchises matters. Man, it's crazy. It's so crazy. It's crazy that teams can't like de-rank or whatever like they do in European football, you know, in soccer. Like in soccer, in European soccer, you could just rank down if you suck too bad. But in the NFL, like, oh baby, we're gonna keep selling. Yeah, relegate, right? In the Premier League, they'll just relegate you down if you suck too bad. But in the NFL, you're allowed to just be as dog as you want out here. But anyways, you could tell I'm getting off into a football tangent because, listen, TCG Live is under maintenance. That's what's going on today. Anyways, I feel like we've done enough talking. I'm going to get out of here because I got a video I got to work on, and I'll be back with some more Pokemon TCG live content tomorrow. But I appreciate you guys hanging out with me while we chat it up and talk Pokemon and football and all that. I'll be back on tomorrow with some more Pokemon trading card game live after the updates. Thank you all so much for the stream. I'm going to get working on a YouTube video here to get that out onto YouTube. Y'all take it easy and have a good one, okay? See ya.